You guys, tonight we are sitting down with a mother who's been fighting a CPS case for nearly 6 years. Now, this case isn't just about a CPS case. It's about the corruption that goes inside of the court systems and the narrative and the misrepresentation of facts going inside of these hearings. Now, the mother's been fighting this for 6 years, but the last year has been insanely crucial for her as she starts to go into a hearing coming up where she has a potential of losing her parental rights. Stick with us as we talk with Delina, and we'll be right back.
Headlines streaking the system. Truth rising above the noise. The voices they tried to silence are speaking louder than ever. This is the Malibu Dallas Show, where the truth gets told and the truth will grow. No fear, no lies, no shadow or style, just truth, accountability, truth above all. Stand up, speak out, let the truth flow. You listen, man, to the Malibu Dallas Show. The Malibu Dallas Show. Truth above all.
You guys, thanks for joining the Malibu Dallas Show. I have an amazing mother on the show today, special guest. She's actually one of my clients, and I've been working with her as her ADA advocate for, I don't know, I think it's been almost a year now. And her story is insanely powerful. And the more we dive into her case, the more corruption, the more things that we're finding out that the system's doing that she had no clue about. A couple days ago, she just went to the courthouse and got a massive stack of court paperwork that she never even saw. Paperwork her lawyer never even presented to her. And we're going to be going over a lot of details in her case, and we're going to be diving down into some serious questions in regards to her case. You guys, help me welcome a very special guest to the show. Her name is Delina Murillo. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I might not be pronouncing that right, but I'm pretty sure she's going to correct me. Delina, how are you doing, sweetie? Thanks for coming on to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good, and it's Murillo, or if you want to be...
I'm butchering it. I know, I butcher names. It's Murillo, right?
Yeah, if you want to be fancy, you can do Murillo.
All right. So I know we were having some bad connections earlier, but I'm glad that you stuck with us and got through all that. Delina, you are based out of California, right?
Yeah, San Bernardino County.
San Bernardino County. And I will tell you, I speak with a lot of parents throughout the entire country, and a lot of those parents are out of California. A lot of them are from San Bernardino County. It's literally one of the most corrupt counties in the entire country, in my view.
Yeah, no, it is. There's a quote that's saying that it basically they need to completely shut it down and rebuild. They have to get rid of everyone and rebuild the whole policies and procedures. It's that bad.
Well, it's not just the policies and procedures. It's CPS agents who are not following the law. If they don't even follow their own policies and procedures, you know damn well they're not actually following state law, constitutional law, due process. What's your experience with that?
Oh wow, it's been a ride. One of my main things is getting reports the day of my court hearings or minutes. Now it's even turned into minutes before my court hearing. I'm not even having time to review in the hallway. There's been a couple times where I didn't get it till after the court hearing. Social workers, they're just omitting facts from the reports. So when I let the social worker know, hey, what happened with this? Why is that not in there? They'll tell me that to talk to my attorney. I'm always back to talking to my attorney.
So it's not that they have any interest in this case of what's doing, in the best interest of you or the child. It's we can't really say anything. You're gonna have to talk to your attorney. And the fact about it is that attorneys, we all know that attorneys never do what's in the best interest of the client anyway, especially if it's a court-appointed attorney. So what's your experience with your court-appointed attorney as of right now?
Well, I have no experience with him. He doesn't communicate with me when I respond or when I ask him questions, when I'm requesting forms, documents. He won't respond. He'll read my messages because in the text message it'll say read. He just won't respond.
Well,
He wants to talk to me hearings.
So he's not really responding to your emails or anything like that. He's waiting until you get to court, and then he'll like take a couple of minutes to speak with you.
Yeah, and then he'll ask me questions that he should be the one knowing that I should be asking him. So he's asking me these questions as if I'm the one who's setting up appointments for like a bonding study. He didn't even know if I had one or not. And then if I had set that up, that's not on my end to do. That was his part to do.
So what exactly is he doing in the case then?
Nothing. Showing up in the courtroom, pretty, I guess.
Now, is he a younger guy or is he an older guy?
He's maybe in like his mid 40s or late 40s. Then another thing, my all my motions that I'm filing, they're getting striked out by the judge because I have the attorney. And so when I refer back to the attorney to ask him to refile them for me, he's ignoring me. So everything that I've worked on is not even in the records.
So everything that you've been filing, the judge just automatically strikes it without reviewing it because you have an attorney?
Yeah.
So
and I'll get them all back in the mail.
But here's the thing is by law, when the court actually receives your filing physically, by law, they're already filed.
Yeah,
are they even filing them?
Yeah, they're there because when I got all my documents from the courthouse, they show they're just not being ruled on. They're not being looked at. They're just they're filed in there. They're just not. They're just sitting there. Nothing's happening with them.
Okay, so then that means your attorney is responsible for filing them, right? So if you're reviewing certain information with your attorney, are they considering filing these motions that you presented with them, or are they just completely ignoring you?
He just doesn't say nothing. He ignores me. I do know the first set that got striked out, he did tell me that it didn't matter about refiling them, that we would take care of it at the trial. But then he doesn't want to call the guardians and the social worker to put them on the stand to question them about the motions that I filed. So in other words, I feel he just tried to throw me off and just, okay, you'll do that. And so I ignore it and stop bothering him. But I'm that type that I'm persistent, and I'm like, no, I'd rather be filed than just questioning people you don't want to put on a stand. So my thing, what I tell him is, it doesn't matter if it's ruled on or anything. I just need it on record.
So we all know, and I teach this quite a bit in my videos, is that you cannot go to appeals court and argue the facts of your case if those facts that you're looking to argue in appeals court are not already argued in the lower court. Now, my question to you is simple. Have you ever thought about just representing yourself?
Yes, I feel like I could do a better job. They just won't let me.
What do you mean they won't let you?
The judge that I have, Judge Steve Mapes, will not allow any parent to go pro se. For the simple fact that I fear because they can represent themselves and they can fight their case. A parent who dives into their case and studies their case and learns law, they can represent themselves and win a case. I strongly believe that. And
so what's your judge's name?
Stephen Mapes.
Out of San Bernardino County?
Mm-hmm. He's the presiding judge. So I try to get him disqualified off my case. He signs off on it himself, saying that he's not being biased, that he's being a fair judge, which he's completely not.
Well, that's interesting. So the judge who you are looking to disqualify is making a determination himself that he is going to continue the case. He's basically, see, that's the thing, is a judge doesn't have jurisdiction to determine his own jurisdiction.
Yeah, they're doing that out here because he's not the only judge that's doing that. There's other parents that said that they have judges that are doing that. So they're signing off on their own disqualification, saying that nothing's wrong with the case, that they're fine to be the judge. You can't get.
So that's to me that presents a massive due process issue. Yeah. Like what do you think's going on with that?
I just think that nobody's brought it up to the attention. I don't think that they've had those parents because they try to quiet you. I've heard bailiffs in the hallway when they're calling in families telling them that not to talk in the courtroom. If they talk, they're going to remove them. So I think silencing the parents has been their way that they're getting around it. But when you have those parents that have studied, who've learned, that aren't staying quiet, that are speaking up, it's coming to light now, and you can tell that they're not liking it. They are retaliating.
So let's go back to the beginning of your case. We've talked about your case for, I mean, it's been going on for almost 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the last year, what have you been seeing going on? Well, like, before you answer that, let's go back. What initially started the CPS investigation in the first place?
When I gave birth to my youngest daughter, funny story, it's hard to believe sometimes, but yeah, I didn't know I was pregnant with her. I didn't gain a lot of weight. I held her mainly, I guess, in my back areas. I remember having a lot of back pain. This was during COVID time. I called her my blue wave baby. And when I thought I was having an appendix, my appendix was swollen, and appendix issues. I went to the hospital and ended up giving birth, and then they ended up doing urine screens on me. They told me that I was positive for methamphetamines. In the documents it says that the CPS document says
were those drug screens, were they verified drug screens, or were they just initial screenings?
They were just initial screenings, urinalysis. And
so they didn't do a clarification. I mean, nothing went to the labs and whatnot. They just took your blood and tested it and came back with the initial screening.
They did my urine, not my blood.
Oh, they did your urine. Okay.
And then they had given me pain medicine because we didn't know, I was in a lot of pain. So they had given me fentanyl and something else. So I already had that in my system when they did a urine test. So I was already going to come out dirty.
Yeah. So I've made videos about this.
Yes.
About how they are doing a drug toxicology test on initial screening, even after the fact that they've been pumping a mother full of drugs for hours on end already.
No, they really are. And then they stated in the CPS workers stated in the case report that they tested my daughter. Medical records show they never screened my daughter. They never did a test on her. Nothing.
Let me ask you this: Did you consent to drug testing of yourself and your daughter?
No, I didn't even know they did that until the nurse came in, or the social worker came into my room and told me. And then
did you recently see the video I did not too long ago about me talking about how that's a massive violation of Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, and you're the second person. I was just talking to somebody else yesterday about this, how they violated my rights, my daughter's rights, because I never consented to that, and then it becomes a HIPAA issue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually federal case law that has never been overturned, and it's completely standard nowadays. It's still viable case law where your hospital room is the same as your house. Taking your blood without your consent is according to the case law, is a violation of the Fourth Amendment of a search and seizure. Yes. And your child has rights. You have rights. And so when those hospitals are violating that standard, they're not just violating policies and procedures, they're actually violating federal law, according to what the case law is actually stating. Have you read that case law?
No, I haven't dived deep into that one yet. I just learned about all that, seeing your videos, and then I was talking to somebody else about this yesterday. So that's going to be my next thing, to start diving into that, to see what, because I know if I go deep into that one, it's going to be a whole other thing that I'm going to start finding out. So I'm like one rabbit at a time right now.
So if we're talking about the beginning of the case, you've obtained the fact that the drug tests were done. They were initial screenings. What drugs did they say that you came back dirty for?
Methamphetamines.
Methamphetamines. Was it anything else?
No, that's just it.
And what drugs were they administering to you in the hospital when you were giving birth?
It was fentanyl, and there was another pain medicine that they gave me. I can't, off the top of my head, I don't remember what it was. It was one of those odd ones. But yeah, the fentanyl, I remembered when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, they were giving me fentanyl? I didn't even know that at the time until I got my medical records recently.
Well, see, that's so bizarre to me that a hospital, considering how dangerous fentanyl really is, the smallest amount could just kill you.
Yeah.
The smallest amount can just kill you. And I've had family members die of fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people watching know somebody who's known somebody who's died of fentanyl.
No, yeah.
And it blows my mind that hospitals are actually administering this to patients.
Yeah, well, I had I dislocated my shoulder a couple years ago, and they gave me fentanyl, and I remember being like, why are you guys giving me fentanyl? And I questioned them, and they told me, and I was scared, and they told me, don't worry, we're here to monitor you, we're monitoring your vital signs. It's not like the street drug. So the hospital...
It's not the street version.
Yeah, they don't consider it a street version because they're monitoring you.
All right. So was CPS accusing you of any criminal actions?
Yeah, they are saying that I have a DUI, 2019. That it's not a DUI; it's a wet and reckless. They have said that I have domestic violence. There was an issue that happened with my son, between me and my son's grandmother. That case was dismissed. There's a one that they're trying to say I had petty theft. That's dismissed. I don't have any criminal records on me, but they're stating that I do. Everything's been dismissed. And then the only thing I can say I have is the wet and reckless. But again, that's not a DUI.
No, it's a reckless charge, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So because the court record shows something different, were you originally charged with the DUI, but ultimately the DUI charge was dismissed, and you and your lawyer got it down to a reckless? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they were initially trying to charge me. I ended up taking a plea, and it went to a wet and reckless. Okay.
Did anyone ever explain the distinction in the juvenile court?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
I let them know that it was when they opened the case with me, I let them know I have a pending court case it's a DUI, but I was fighting it at the time. And when it went into a wet and reckless, I did inform the attorney at the time that, hey, these are the charges. It's not a DUI, and nothing was ever fixed in my record.
Okay. Wow. Did you ever read a CPS report where the words like DUI or DUI conviction or something similar was presented or described in your case now?
Yeah, there's about five reports. They're still being written, and they're currently. They don't have any new allegations on me. They're bringing up past stuff to
past stuff that's been dismissed or ruled out, correct?
Yeah, they're trying to bring that up as if that's happened, that it's still happening, to move forward with the case still.
So what in California, have you come across any California laws or codes or statutes that prevent them from presenting that kind of stuff in evidence or in court as or any kind of evidence against you in order to keep the case open?
I know there's law and statutes and all that. Off the top of my head, I don't know what they are, but I know you can't use past history. Whatever allegations they have to be going on today. I know it has to be happening today. Can't be something that is from the past. It can't be something that they've already, for instance, with me, they can't keep bringing up my past history with them because that's already been solved, been resolved in a way. So they're using the past stuff as if it's going on today. which it's not. I've had changed circumstances, and yeah, they don't.
So one of the things CPS has to do is they have to prove that you're an unfit parent as of right now.
Yes.
Right. In order to terminate parental authority, parental rights, they have to prove that you are an unfit and unsafe parent due to your actions right now. Not what happened 12 months ago, not what happened 24 months ago. Right. So I think that's what you're talking about is the fact that all of your current issues have nothing to do with what happened 6 years ago.
Mm-mm.
And there's no way that they can prove that you're an unfit parent as of right now, based on the reports and the evidence that they have going submitted into the courts right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I actually have custody of my youngest kid. So if I was an unsafe parent, why would I have custody of him?
So you have custody of one of your children already, but they're saying that you're not fit as a parent to have custody of the other children.
Yeah, I'm good enough for him, just not my two daughters. Yes, as crazy as it is, it happens. It's happening over here. It's a lot. It's not uncommon.
That's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Where's your court case at now?
They want to set up what's a point to 6 on Tuesday on the 18th. They're trying to but I keep getting it continued because they're not, either social workers are not giving me my reports in a timely manner 10 days before my hearing, or the bonding study is not being completed. So my second bonding study has not been completed. The doctor recommended another 4 hours for the bonding study. That wasn't completed yet, so I refuse to move forward if I haven't had all opportunities to present my case correctly, and I haven't received all files that I've been asking for from county council.
Well, because you're represented by an attorney, are they willing to give you those files, or are they saying, hey, we can only present that to your attorney?
Well, it's funny because the files are confidential, right? So my attorney can't even get those files that I'm requesting because of confidentiality. I can get them, but through a process if county council wants it, but I have to have the court's permission to share those files.
But that doesn't make any sense to me. Like I get the confidentiality part, but the confidentiality doesn't keep you from obtaining information in your case that they're using against you in order for you to be able to defend yourself properly.
No,
right?
Yeah, as a parent, I have all rights, and especially, because I'm on the case, I have all rights to all documents. I have the right to know what they're using against me, what evidence they have. So all those crucial documents that I need to fight my case fairly, they're not wanting to give that up. Like, I have documents that just say that there's clear and convincing evidence. Well, what are those clear and convincing evidence? I don't know what that is.
What's the clear and convincing evidence? You know, if you're claiming clear and convincing evidence, prove it. Show me the evidence, because if that's what you're claiming and you're presenting evidence to the court, I have to have access to that evidence in order to properly defend myself. Otherwise, it's a violation of due process, is it not?
No, yeah. Like on the back of my report is a case plan. I don't have that case plan. I don't know what the case plan is. I don't know what their case plan, what they were trying to do. I don't know any of that because they won't give me those documents.
So, but are they giving it to your attorney?
I don't know because he doesn't respond to me. My guess is probably not, because it's in their terms. It's confidentiality, and they have to have a court order for the attorneys to have the documents. That's what I'm told in letters. And I mean, I know it's wrong. I know it doesn't sound right. It sounds like a joke to me, but that's what they're using.
So you filed a 388, didn't you?
Yeah.
So in California, the 388 is it's a petition to return the children. Is that correct?
Yeah, change circumstances.
The 388 is to change the circumstances.
Yeah.
So based specifically on the 388, the guardians filed their 388 as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now they filed that in October of last year.
Yes.
Okay, what's going on with that?
Well, see, I filed my 388 in June of 2025. Changed circumstances. I have a home where my kids, they would have their own bedroom, like, stable enough to have them. So I filed the 388. It got denied the next day. So I didn't get the court hearing, nothing. It was denied very next day by the judge. So then after my daughter's 6th grade promotion, after I had her graduation party, all the visits halted with my kids. I didn't see my kids from July to November. I was back and forth with the courthouse, the social workers. I felt like a pinball machine. Nobody was telling me how visits were going to happen. I'm told by the guardians that it's gonna be at a facility now, that the social worker would get back to me. Social worker told me it's guardianship. We have nothing to do with visits anymore. You got to take it up with the court. Courts would tell me you got to take it up with the social workers. So I was.
So they're just playing that merry-go-round little game with you.
Yeah. So then my parents were still seeing my children. Then they got stopped after my daughter's 13th birthday in September. Their visit stopped for no reasons. And then my parents filed a 388. Theirs was denied, I think, 3 days later. Then the guardians file a petition October 31st, and theirs gets accepted. And there's no changed circumstances in there. The only thing is that they want adoption now, but there's no changed circumstances.
So, looking at that 388, you said it was filed on October 31st, right? So they filed it on Halloween of last year.
Yeah, day after
seeking the adoption of both girls. Is that correct?
Yeah. So my parents ended up hiring an attorney. So the attorney contacted them October 30th. The guardians, they got really upset. The wife was really pissed off, cussing them out. Very next day, they go file for an adoption.
And it got approved. Not the adoption hasn't been approved, but the 388 you said got approved.
Yeah, that got us the court hearing. They got us the court hearing. Not my changed circumstances, not my parents. Their petition for an adoption got it.
But that's only because the department actually recommended granting the 388, correct?
Yeah.
So they filed their 388, and the CPS department recommended granting the 388 for, I think it was Jaylene?
Yeah, for Jaylene. My oldest, Genevieve, she denied wanting to be adopted. So they didn't grant that one, just Jaylene.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, how old are the children?
Genevieve, she's 13. She'll be 14 in a few weeks. Jaylene just turned 6 in May.
And then how old's the one that's living with you now?
He's 5. So Jaylene and Damien are 10 months apart.
And have the older children, the older girls, have they ever expressed that they want to come home?
Oh, yeah. My oldest daughter's told the social workers that she wants to come home. I have messages from my oldest daughter saying she wants to come home. She wants to come back home with me. Her thing is she will not leave her sister. So if her sister can't come home, she won't leave her, which I wouldn't want them to separate. Like they have a very close bond. So the little one at visits, social workers have heard her say, why can't I go to your home? When can I go home with you? How come? And she'll ask, why can't Damien stay with you? Why does Damien live with you? Why can't I? How come I can't live with you anymore? So she's asking questions. She's very curious now. And it's like at these visits, I have to be careful on how I answer them because I don't want to say, oh, mother's talking about the case. And I just tell her, I'm trying. Let's pray. We got to pray. We just got to pray. I'm hoping. I'm trying. So that's what's been happening with that. And then the social workers, they'll go in and they'll question her as if that was a bad thing to say. And then she retracts it and she'll like, I don't know why I said that. I don't remember. I never said that.
So the social workers are manipulating them.
Oh yeah. All the questions that they are asking my children are all leading questions. It's not my children coming out saying these things. It's the social workers asking them, did this happen?
Well, that happens in more cases than not, is where the social workers are manipulating the children's answers by leading them into leading questions where they are led to answer a certain way. They do that to control the narrative, and then also to create more opportunity to break the bond between the parents and the children.
Yeah, that's what they're doing with me. And then they're questioning my daughter, the youngest, in front of the guardians. So it's not even a mutual setting. It's in the home in front of guardians. So that becomes a whole other issue, where a loyalty type of issue. That's not her freely stating what she really wants. That's her feeling, I gotta say what they want to hear, because it's
Right.
there. Now, when we have the trial, they want to put her on the stand, but they're telling me I have to leave courtroom, but the guardians can stay in there. How is that? So my thing is that I push with the attorney. No, either we both leave this courtroom and you guys interview, or I stay in there too. Like, I have rights to her mom. Why do I have to leave? And like,
you have to leave, because if you're there,
she's gonna say what she wants.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. The children won't answer in the way that they are trying to get them to answer specific questions.
No. And I've witnessed what they do to the parent is they make the parent leave the courtroom. They put the parent in a whole other room before they bring the child through the hallways to the courtroom. So the child doesn't even know you're there. They're just in the courtroom, they see who they're living with. And that's, of course, a child, especially a 5-6-year-old, if they're seeing someone they're living with every day, of course they're going to pick that person, because they're not seeing their other parent, their mom. So if she's not seeing me, she's not knowing I'm there, because she's asked me, am I at the courthouses when she's there? And I told her, I said, yeah, I'm there. I'm fighting. I'm there too. I'm there. I let her know. She's asked me this about 2 times already. So the first time I just kind of try to change the subject. I didn't want to get told anything. But then after, I was like, no, she needs to know that her mom is there. Her mom is fighting for her, and that her mom's not giving up. So I told her, I said, I'm there. I'm not giving up. I'm fighting. I want you guys home. I tell her, because I don't feel like I'm talking about the case. I'm telling her what I want and what's right. They belong with me.
So, Delina, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I'm going to show you everybody a video that we put together for you. The department's own reports say Genevieve did not want to be adopted, and that she wanted one day to return to your care. Like, she was saying, hey, I want to go back to my mom. You guys have like one day, right? How does that compare with the picture of your relationship with your children that has otherwise been presented to the court? Like you have one child saying she wants to come home, and then you have, I'm giving you one day to get me back home and all this other kind of stuff. So she's showing that she really truly wants to come home. How are the courts looking at that?
They overlooked it. They ignored it.
Even though it was in their own, even though it was in the CPS's own report to the court.
Yeah, and what they've done is they shut her out now. So they separate the cases. So they closed her case back up into legal guardianship, and they only have the youngest one open for the adoption. So when I try to bring up issues like visitation issues and stuff about with my daughter, with my oldest, they won't look into it because it's not an open case. Sorry, 1 second.
So, see, that's really crazy to me, because you have CPS who's mandated to put forth
sorry, can we
accurate reports, right? You have CPS that's mandated to present accurate reports to the court. If they're fabricating reports, then you're able to challenge those through the proper procedure. But when how do you challenge the fact CPS is writing to the court saying, hey, yes, the children want to go back home, and yet they're sweeping that under the rug. Even the judge is ignoring that to keep you guys separated for what?
for the adoption. It's all a money game, and if they can...
There you go. It's the money game. You see, when you have even the judge ignoring a CPS recommendation or ignoring certain information, even in the CPS case, to specifically continue that case along, you know at that point that it's strictly about the money. It's not about what's doing in the best interest of the child. It's not about what's in the best interest of preserving the family unit. It's about money.
Yeah. They completely cut my parents out. They shut my parents down. My kids were very, very close to my parents. Like we were always together. I see my kids 5 times a week. Like I had a strong relationship with them. I see them all the time. And yeah, this past year it's been hard. And then the judge, I mean, he's already predetermined my case. He's already made his ruling. He's had a slip up at the last hearing when the attorney was trying to say that the doctor was requesting the 4 more hours for a bonding study. He only wanted to give me 2 more hours, and then the attorneys told him that that would be violating my due process. So the judge had made a statement saying that I can't do 4 hours, only 2 hours, because that's all Muddy will ever get is 2 hours. So right there, you just determined my case. You've already judged my case. You've already ruled on my case. I'll never get more than 2 hours to see my child a month. You said it right there in the courtroom. I haven't had a trial or anything. He hasn't read the bonding study state notes or nothing. But he's already determined my case. And then when I look at my paperwork and I go back to the beginning, they never planned on reunification. It's always been about adoption. Their main goal was always adoption.
Yeah. Even if they say in court that their goal is for reunification, they get around that by going, yes, the goal is reunification, but they're not going to do anything to meet that goal.
No.
They're going to go and do everything that they possibly can to meet the goal of adoption. Why? Because now they're making bonus money. Now they're creating an opportunity where they're going to come out with anywhere between probably $6,000 to $15,000 extra dollar on adopting the child. This is why we call it child trafficking.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it really is. And it's sickening. It is sickening what is going on with our children. I can't believe that it came to this over money. Money is the root of all evil. It really is.
So you guys, let me show you a video that we put together. Delina, she sent me a lot of photos, and I just wanted to put together a little video for her, and we're going to show you that to you now.
They don't know, they wrote it down like they knew my life. Black ink cuts like a knife. They don't need bedtime prayers or how I held them when no one was there. They see I found out these tears I cried out the nights I stayed awake just to keep them alright. They don't know my children, not like I do. They made their call, but they never knew. You can chase the like it's black and white, but they don't see the bond they break every night. Sisters torn apart, a brother kept away. How is that love when it's pushed away? They speak for my children like they feel their pain, but they never stood with us in the rain. They don't hear their voices when they call my name.
Girl, Girl, you got a beautiful family.
Thank you. And good.
You have an absolutely beautiful family.
Thank you. These are my babies.
I am so sorry that you are going through this. It tears me up. Every time I do a video, every time I talk to another parent about their case or whatever it might be, it breaks my heart every single time when I hear these stories, because as everybody knows, I was a victim of child trafficking through CPS. You know, I know what these children go through. I know what the parents go through. And to see a beautiful family like yours get torn apart simply because the court system is far more greedy about money than preserving the actual family unit, it just makes me sick.
No, yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible because right now I have a teenage daughter who needs me and I can't be there. I can't be there to show her things in life. I can't have those mother-daughter talks with her. I should be planning her sweet 16 or her quinceañera, and I can't even do that right now. I can't. Like, her birthday's in a few weeks. I don't know if I'll be able to talk or see her, and I've never missed a birthday. I've never missed holidays, nothing. In this past year, I've missed a lot. I've missed her first day of 7th grade, going to junior high. I've missed a lot. Like, I've missed a lot. Milestones I will never get back. I have my son, he hasn't seen his sisters in a year. He cries for them all the time. They will not allow him to have a visit with his sisters when I'm present. They want him to go in on his own visit, but there's no court order stating he has to have a separate visit than mine. He can't come in on my visit.
Well, that brings up another issue. The court orders are stating that the visitations are to be held at certain times and certain days throughout the month or throughout the week. And is it not true that the CPS agencies are constantly canceling visitations on you?
Oh yeah, they've canceled my visits an hour before as I'm driving there on I had a cake for my youngest for her birthday. I was gonna surprise her with a cake, and as I'm driving there, I got a call that they're canceling, and I had a cake that I couldn't get to her. My oldest daughter, they let her cancel visits and stating that she wants to hang out with friends. And then the statement that I've been told is...
Wait. They're canceling visits because she wants to hang out with friends?
Yes.
So they're willing to violate a court order because she wants to hang out with friends? I don't think that's how that works.
Oh no, I brought up with the social worker. I questioned her as far as, what are you guys teaching you guys are teaching my daughter to violate court orders. Like, court orders don't matter. Like, this is a life lesson you guys are teaching her. So when she gets older, if God forbid she has a court case, I don't have to abide by that. Why? I didn't have to when I was younger. Like, these are life lessons they're teaching my kid. And then when I bring that up to the social worker, she'll tell me, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to grab her by the arm and force her into the car? And I said, no, why would I want you to put hands on my kid if I never did? So they manipulate it. And then when I say, well, what are the guardians doing? Are the guardians encouraging it? Like, what's happening when she doesn't want to go? Is there like, were they removing her tablet? Are they, and there's
got to be some kind of consequence. I mean, if the court system's not wanting to hold them accountable for violating a court order, right? So, if you violated a court order, you certainly would be held accountable.
Oh yeah, I would. I certainly would. If I were to sit there and talk about my case to my kids, it's going to come down on me.
Right.
Yeah, but the guardians, they don't encourage the visits, which they're supposed to. They're supposed to encourage the family unit, and they're not doing that. They're purposely breaking that bond because they already have it set where they're going with an adoption. So it doesn't make sense that one child I could still see and the other child I can't. I don't have rights to see, but I still have rights to see one child. And I've questioned them on this. How does that make sense? Because what the child that they're going to adopt, she's already showing signs of issues of being apart from me. So all you guys are doing is you guys are going to mess her up more, because now she's going to feel, why wasn't I out good enough? Why didn't my mom not want to see me? And why my sister? So now you're building hatred, because now there's a jealousy. Now, well, why mom only want to see you? What makes you so
And
good?
see, that's the psychological damage that they do on children, and the agencies, they don't care. They literally do not care about that psychological damage that they inflict on families and children. As long as they're meeting their goals to make that federal funding and keep their jobs. Oh, I'm just doing my job. It's policy that I do this. Blah blah. Oh, it's policy that you are creating this amount of trauma on a family. That's your policy, and you don't care.
No, they don't. It says it in my paperwork that she'll still show signs of uncertainty of not being with me. She'll still have issues with that, but adopting is the best choice. So instead of, hey, you know what? She's
the best choice for who?
For her. The best interest for her. Yeah. Even though she's going to show signs and have these issues.
But the courts, listen, the courts are determining, the agency is making determinations on what's in the best interest of your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look at this. You guys, this is a video I did not too long ago, but it's very relevant to what we just talked about. The courts are determining what's in the best interest of the child. The agencies are apparently making decisions on what's in the best interest of the child. But are they doing it legally and lawfully? Me personally, I don't think so.
You guys, yesterday I made a video about the 5 most dangerous words in a CPS or family court case. That is, in the best interest of. In the best interest of your child, okay, we're going to continue this case. You guys, I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is for strictly educational purposes only. If you need a lawyer and you can find a competent one, go do that. If you have a judge in your CPS case or family court case that keeps on saying, I'm going to continue this case, or I'm going to do this or that in the best interest of the child, then you're going to have to understand exactly what they're talking about. Because if you really truly believe that these people care about the best interest of your child, you need a bigger wake-up call than I can provide for you. The United States Supreme Court has already addressed this multiple times, and it is so very crucial to understand. The constitutional starting point is not that the government knows best for your child. In Troxville versus Grainville, the United States Supreme Court recognized that there is a presumption that a fit parent acts in the best interest of their child. Did you guys catch that? Because it's very important. Presumption. The United States Supreme Court already presumes that you are a fit parent and that you are acting in the best interest of your child. If you have not legally and lawfully been determined to be an unfit parent, then why is the government automatically acting as if they know what's in the best interest of your child? Automatically presuming that they know better than you do. The constitutional analysis should not automatically start with that CPS knows best, or that the judge knows best, or that foster parents know best. So if the government wants to override parental authority and decision making, then there's some questions that need to be answered. What legal ground has the state established to allow it to overcome my constitutionally protected parental right? In the best interest of the child, that should never be a shortcut around that specific question. If you're still with me, stick around for just a minute more, because I'm going to tie this in to the actual Constitution. You guys, the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution, Article 4 of the United States Constitution, establishes that the Constitution and federal law made pursuant to it are the supreme law of the land. What exactly does that mean? It means that the United States Supreme Court decisions in federal law are just as powerful as the Constitution. They're united as one, which means that the lower courts have to abide by the United States Supreme Court rulings. They cannot just bypass it. Yes, we all know that state courts operate under state law. However, state law is still subject to the United States Constitution. That's why every single state's constitution has to align with and mirror the federal constitution. A judge's determination of what might be better for your child is not necessarily the same thing as establishing the legal grounds required to override your parental rights. Those are two completely different questions. If you are a fit parent, then the Supreme Court is already recognizing the presumption that you are a fit parent and that you are acting in the best interest of your child. You guys, that presumption matters. The Constitution matters. Due process of law matters. The supremacy clause of the federal Constitution freaking matters. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Knowledge is power. Get some.
So, Delina, that video, I'm basically stating that the Supreme Court has already determined a presumption that the parent is already presumed a fit parent. Mm-hmm. It is not up to the courts or the CPS agencies or police officers or anybody. The courts did not say that the CPS agency is presumed to be operating in the best interest of the child. It says that the parent is presumed to be acting in the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, they're clearly not following that. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel, especially a mother, you've carried this child for 9 months. You've carried this child inside of you. You raised this child, like you birthed this child. Like birthing pain is not easy and simple. I feel a mother has all rights. That shouldn't be taken from her, and that should not be taken lightly. Like she gave life.
Well, no, it's considered the death penalty.
No,
in relativity to a criminal offense, right?
Yeah,
it's the death penalty. You're stripping parents of their children.
Yeah, and it's a pain. It's a pain that no one will understand unless you've gone through it. You're in it. It's mourning a child that's not gone, that's still alive, but you're mourning the death of that child that you know is living a life that you can't be part of, and it's hard. It's hard. Especially when they've had a relationship, they've had a bond with you. You always were there. You weren't that once a month mom or that mom that came in when she felt like it. And to have to deal with the fact that I could be mourning a death, but not really a death. It's a whole other type of a hurt. It's unexplainable. It's one of those, you can't explain it. But
that separation, that bond, that termination of the bond, and that separation of the children, it might not be a physical death, but it's an emotional reality death.
Mm-hmm, yeah, because I mean, it's living every day, and you know they're alive, but you just can't be there. You can't be there to nurture them. You can't be there for their moments, like their graduations. Like I started thinking about all this. I'm like, man, like they're trying to take that away from me. And what did I do so wrong to deserve that?
But see, that's the thing. You did absolutely nothing wrong. You gave birth. They introduced drugs into your system, and then they blamed you for having drugs in your system to justify them removing your children for federal funding.
Well, what's crazy with that is that they didn't remove my children from me when I gave birth. They allowed me to leave the hospital within 24 hours after birth with my daughter. And I had her in my care for 5-6 months before they did the removal.
So, which begs the question, what happened after 5 or 6 months for them to come back and say, hey, we're going to remove your children?
They're trying to say I wasn't going with the case plan. So the case plan was that they wanted me to get into parenting classes, do counseling.
But when was the case plan introduced?
It was introduced in September of 2020. I was
shortly after you gave birth, right?
After the social worker, there was multiple times the social worker came over. Before the last time he said, when he came over in August or September, my supervisor wants us to open up a case. So this is the case plan. So we went over the case plan. Never once did they tell me I was supposed to do random drug testing. Every time he would come over, he would say, oh, okay, do it on demand, and I would go test. I'm like, okay, I have nothing to hide. Like, I'm not doing anything. So when we set up the case plan, I enrolled in my classes. They wanted me to do outpatient treatment. I had that was a pending appointment for an intake. I think it was November 23rd of 2020. So I had 2 missed drugs tests that I didn't know I was supposed to be doing. The social worker calls me and tells me, hey, you have missed tests. We're going to set up we're going to file a petition for a court hearing to make it mandatory now. It's no longer going to be voluntary. It's going to be mandatory that you do these classes. And I told him, I said, well, I've already started classes. I've already started counseling. I've already started parenting. I have a appointment for intake in 2 weeks. So I don't understand what.
But what was the determination of the whole premise behind removing the children? They had to have some type of imminent danger accusation.
They just said at the missed test that those are going to be considered positive. The judge has said it was considered positive, and that.
But that's the thing is even the Supreme Court has ruled that the mere presence of drugs does not constitute imminent danger.
No, you have to have an underlying issue with that in order. So the reports is crazy because the reports say that my kids were well dressed. I was well dressed. They were fed. There was electricity. They had a roof over their head. Everything. They weren't in danger. They were well taken care of. If anyone was in danger, it was myself because I would put them before myself. So they had more than what they needed. But in the reports from the courts, their findings, they're stating that that they were mentally, they're basically I was not meeting their mental needs. I wasn't, that there was a safety concern. It's very broad. It doesn't get into detail.
A safety concern is not imminent danger.
No, a substantial danger to the physical health, suffering severe emotional damage, and no reasonable means to protect. So I wasn't able to protect my kids. I wasn't able to protect my kids from them, is what it was.
But again, I understand what they're saying. Substantial risk or whatever it is. Risk does not equal imminent danger. It's a risk. I mean, just getting every parent who walks out of their house and puts their children in a car and drives them down the street is putting their children at risk. So my question is, and you probably don't have an answer to this because of, but the question every parent should be asking is, where's the imminent danger? Not the risk, not the assumption of mental
What happened?
Whatever. It's where's the imminent risk?
Mm.
Because imminent risk is the fact that my child is going to be hurt severely, like really bad, including near death within the next few minutes.
Yeah, and they have the judge even acknowledged what the social worker had put, that they were in a clean home, they had their needs were met, but still did a removal based off of the missed test that he said he was going to determine them being positive. How can you say something that never was tested? How can you sit there and tell me it was positive? I never was tested for anything. That doesn't mean it's positive.
There seems to be a lot of now, this is just me looking at this from outside looking in. It seems to be like there's a lot of major due process issues in this case.
Oh, yeah. And then my jurisdiction hearing, I didn't have that, I think, for like 9 months. They kept getting continue. So by the time I had that hearing, I was already completed my classes. They just started adding on just classes to me.
So they removed the child or the children and didn't even give you a hearing until 9 months later?
Yeah, I didn't have my detention jurisdiction until 9 months later. It kept getting continued.
What about a probable cause hearing? Like probable cause to show that there was.
No, they kept continuing it. They continued it first because they needed to get a paternity test done. Then they continued it to February of 2021.
Who continued it? your lawyer or them, or because they can't just
The
they have
courts,
to have it.
the social workers and the courts did. The social workers put in for the continuance because of the paternity test. And then when that was done, that was February 2021. Then I had a next hearing, I believe in April, that got continued again because they didn't have the results in yet. So it just kept getting continued until July of 2021. And I was already completed all my classes. And
I see a massive reason why they don't want to allow parents to represent themselves, because if this is what's going on inside of your case and hundreds and hundreds of other families' cases, just like yours in San Bernardino, they do not want you to represent yourself because they don't want you to be able to get all of these issues on the record in order for them to go to appeals court.
yeah, because I mean, when I look at it, I'm like, well, what did the paternity test have to do with me? Me and the father weren't together. We weren't living together. We weren't nothing. I hadn't even talked to him. I didn't even know where he was. So why did I have to go on a standstill because of him? Why couldn't my part move forward? Because then at the end of the day, he went to one hearing and then no one ever seen him again. And so it was just, honestly, it was just a delay. It was just to delay it and hoping that I was going to back away and something. And
Delina, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know a lot of this stuff is not easy to talk about.
no,
And it's a lot of emotion. But I do got to say that I'm very proud of you.
thank you.
I'm very proud of you for how hard you fought in this case, for the amount of legal research that you've done,
Oh, I learned a
for
lot.
your relentless mama bear attitude coming out. The fight in you is truly amazing to me. You're one of the parents that I've been working with over the last few years that I can actually truly say that I'm proud of, because of the amount of work that you've been able to do. Even though you have a lawyer on your case who is completely inept, I can see why the judges and the courts do not want you to represent yourself,
Oh, yeah. Well,
because you are a powerful force.
yeah, no, yeah. And I know the attorneys, they get irritated with me because I tell them, no, this is how, and now I'm stern with them. I'm like, no, these are my children. Like, I'm sorry, these are my kids. And I made a promise to my daughters, especially my oldest, and I told her I will never give up. I will do what I gotta do. I will fight to the end of me. And I'm doing that. If I have a few hours of sleep, I will get those few hours of sleep, because when I do sleep, I get what do you call it? What's the word? I feel what's the word? I don't feel right sleeping. I feel I should be up studying.
You're just too anxious. You're too motivated. You're too like, yeah, I gotta get stuff done.
I can't rest. I'm like, how can I sleep knowing my kids aren't with me? I can't sleep peacefully.
Well, see, that's what makes you a good parent, right? The parents who like buy my book, the parents who go through and do the legal research themselves, the parents who actually put the legwork into these cases.
Oh yeah.
Those are good parents. I cannot tell you how many parents I speak to who just want somebody to come in and fix it for them.
Yeah. Doesn't
Right?
work that way.
In my opinion, you're not a good parent if you do that. Why? Because if you're not willing to learn your rights now, if you're not willing to learn the law now and learn what it takes to protect you and your family now, so that you have that knowledge and that authority in the future, you're not a good parent.
No, and I honestly feel if I knew what I knew today, back then, my kids would have been home within a few days. They had nothing on me. That case should have been open. But because I didn't,
Right.
I trusted a system, I trusted an attorney, because I'm like, you went to school, you know what you're talking about. I trusted them, and it got me to where I am today. And if I can tell anything to a parent, even a grandparent, anyone who has a child in their family, learn the law, study, because this can happen to anybody. You're not untouched from it. You're not, the schools get involved, the hospitals get involved, doctors get involved. A child can be removed for any reason if they feel like it. If they need the money or they need to meet incentive marks, or they will do what they got to do. And at this time and age, today, they're after the children. They are after our children, and it's sickening. It's sad, and it's just no child is safe right now. I don't think any child or any parent is safe. And I honestly do believe learn your right, buy your book, because I have the book, and my book's filled with highlights and notes, and I still look at it, and I'll look at it all the time to just refresh and know my rights. And I mean, I've come across a lot of good parents, like strong parents that I'm fighting with over here in San Bernardino County, where, we get together, we strategize, we are trying to figure out how do we expose, how do we help other parents not get to where we have gotten. Like, see,
that's one of the biggest struggles, is getting in front of the parents before these things happen, right? There are a lot of parents out there in the middle of this fight. They're frightened, they're scared. They don't really know where to start or where to look. And that's not where parents need to finally start learning their rights.
No, you learn it before.
Parents need to start learning their rights before these issues occur, because even if you think, I'm a good parent, I don't see this ever happening to me, that's the worst attitude you can possibly have.
Yeah, and that's what I said. The first initial hearing, when they told me they were removing me, I said, why? How? I'm a good mom. I'm a good parent. My kids aren't without. I questioned, like, how did this happen? I didn't know how it happened. And it's because they seen a vulnerable parent who didn't know anything, and they seen an easy target. And they targeted me. They targeted me the moment I gave birth. When they realized I was pregnant, I was a target. And they came after me, and they came after my children, and I didn't know anything then, like I know now. And nobody's untouched. No parent, no family is untouched here. You don't have to be a bad parent. You don't have to be a drug addict. You don't have to be all these things that people think, CPS is involved. You must be a bad parent. No, you don't have to be any of that, because I wasn't. I coached my daughter's cheer team. I worked 2 jobs. I was there with my child all the time. I had my kid with me all the time. Like, I never was that absent parent. I didn't leave her with my parents to babysit it so I could party. I didn't do any of that. I was with them all the time. And yeah, they came after me, and they came after my kids. And like I said, I can't stress it enough for parents and people with kids in their family. Study, learn, teach your children, because they have rights too. And we got to teach. I teach my son, hey, if somebody goes to your school and pulls you out of your classroom to talk to you, you tell them you don't want to talk. I want my mom. I teach him. I'm teaching him these things. You don't talk to nobody unless mom or dad are with you, because they will.
See, that's the thing is back in the day, we used to teach our children, don't speak with strangers, right? And nowadays, people think that your school teacher is not a stranger. The principal's not a stranger. The doctor's not a stranger. Police officers are not strangers. But in reality, yes, they are.
Oh yeah.
If you're not inviting these people to a barbecue on the weekend, they're freaking strangers.
Oh yeah, I teach my son that all the time. Like, you don't tell your teacher what happens in our home. What we do in our home is our privacy. That's what we do in our home. We don't go out. We don't tell people. I instill that in him, because I've learned. So I instill and I teach him, you're right. You don't talk to nobody. Your teacher, that's your teacher. Yes, she's teaching you, but that's not mama's friend. That's not daddy's friend. That's not our friend. So we watch what we say unless they're our friends. And if anyone tries to come get you from school, you don't leave with them. We are very with our son. Like, we're teaching him now, because if we don't instill this in our kids, we don't teach our kids, they'll freely go and speak with social workers. They'll freely speak with these police officers. And like you said, you can't trust nobody anymore these days, especially with your children. You can't. Those are your prized possessions, and you've got to treat them that way.
Well, Delina, I want to thank you for coming on the show again. If there was one last thing that you can say to the people out there, and maybe message to your children, or any kind of message that you want to put out right now besides what we just already talked about, what would that be?
Well, to Jenna and Jaylene, mom's fighting. I'm not giving up. like I said, I'm gonna fight to the end of me, and mommy loves you guys, and I miss you guys, brother misses you guys, and one day we'll be able to meet together. Like, one day God will bring us together, and remember that what what isn't in God will never bring destruction to families. He wants us together, and one day we will be together again, and mommy's gonna keep fighting till that happens. I will never give up. Man, it's emotional and it's hard. And then, like I said to the parents, like, don't take my story lightly. Don't take it as, oh, just I'm another statistic. No, it's reality. This is really what's happening. It's real. It's real, and do everything you can to protect your children. Learn your rights. Teach your children their rights, and study. Even though you don't think you'll need it, you'll eventually need it sometime in your life. And all I can say is just study. Buy Dallas's book. That is the number one tool in my case plan that I always go to. I read it all the time, and it's a good source. I look at his reels, and it's funny because that's how I came across you, as one of your reels. I was like, oh, I gotta talk to this guy. I need to speak with him. But yeah, no, they're very educational. Even going back to his history and just watching them all, they're straight to the point, and they teach you what you got to learn.
So Delina, I've been personally working with you on your case for quite a while now as your ADA advocate. How's that helped you?
Oh man, I feel I've gotten a lot further with you than I would have with any attorney. I've learned, because not only are you guiding me or showing me things, I'm learning off of it. Because if I have things I ask you to like observe it or look it over. How does it sound? And then you'll challenge me on certain areas and I've learned a lot more than what I knew before you started helping me. So I thank you a lot on that.
It's amazing when you have somebody looking at the case from different perspectives, and that can actually show you how to look at a case differently. Not necessarily give you legal advice or anything like that, but to show you how to look at a case completely differently than what is normally taught.
Yeah,
and the way that's done is it's done through just reading things with you, going over different procedures or stuff like that, making sure things are understood in the right context. Because most parents can look at procedures and policies and whatever, but the majority of it's just going to be gobbledygook because you're not really looking at it in the way that you should be looking at it.
Yeah, and it takes a lot. What's helped me is you gotta learn when to turn off the emotions. You gotta learn when you turn off the emotions and you put on your fighting or your learning cap. Because if you're trying to learn something and you're reading a report and you're crying, because that's what I did before, I would cry because I'm reading this and I'm like, it's not even accurate. This is wrong, and I'm like, how can this happen? My emotions are getting the best of me. They're fogging up my mind. I can't study what's really going on there. So I've learned to turn off my emotions, to turn that part off, and to get into my study mode. And I'll sit there and with my highlighter and I'll read a page 5 times if I have to. And I sit there and I'll highlight, like, wait, this doesn't seem right. No, wait, this has to be wrong. And then I run it on AI. Me and AI, we're best friends. I run it on there, and I've learned to prompt certain ways, and and it breaks everything down. And then I'll go and I look up other stuff, and I look into it. Wait, did it say this? And then I've gone through my reports, I don't know how many times, so many times, and each time I go through them, I find something new that I missed before or that I didn't know before. I'm like, wait a minute, no. So yeah, I'm learning something new all the time. And then another thing I would tell parents is if you have a case open, get your reports from different sources. Go to the social worker, tell them when they give you reports. Go to the courthouse, request the reports. You can even ask at the window that you want to review your case that they have at the window. What I did is I had a fee waiver. So I told them, hey, you know what? I don't know what I have here and at home. So can you just print me out all these documents? They printed everything out for me. I've gotten it from the attorneys. I've contacted county council. the records department, and each time that I've gotten something from someone, I've gotten a little bit more, or stuff I didn't have, or I'm finding stuff that different names on it that have nothing to do with my case, or things that I didn't know. So yeah, when you get multiple sources and you sit there and you study all of them, you find a lot of missing stuff in there, or wrongful stuff in there, and you copy paste. Like it's crazy. It's crazy what you'll find when you have all these.
That's why we say knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
Get some, right? So, getting the knowledge is the half the battle, but you got to be willing to execute that knowledge. And that's one thing that I've been very proud of you, is that you don't just study. You don't just come to me when you need guidance on a certain type of topic or whatever, but you actually execute the knowledge. And that's what one of the things parents, I think, fail at is really going after and executing that knowledge. Yeah. And that's one of the things I'm very proud of you for. But Delina, thank you for coming on the show. I'm so glad that you are one of those parents who will never give up. Will never give up on their children, will never give up on the fight. And that's exactly what we are fighting for. So you are an amazing parent. Don't ever forget that.
Thank you for those words. Sometimes it's hard and you do forget it. But yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for having me. It's a privilege to be able to get my story out there, because I can't get it out there in the courtroom. So I'm going to get it out there one way or another.
Yeah. So, keep fighting, girl.
Okay. Well, thank you. Bye.
You guys, thanks for joining the show. This is the Malibu Dallas Show. I say it all the time. Knowledge is power. Get some. If you are willing to execute the knowledge that you receive, you are going far beyond the majority of what parents do. Even if you don't think that this is going to happen to you, it absolutely can happen to you. One of the biggest problems that we are having is trying to get this information out in front of the parents before it happens. We prepare for everything in life. We prepare in case we get into a car wreck. We get insurance on our cars. We get medical insurance. We get life insurance. We get all of these different things prepared just in case something happens, right? We're going to build a bunker in the backyard that's going to survive, withstand a nuclear bomb, because, we're about ready to enter World War III again. So we're going to prepare for all that. But what's the one thing that we don't prepare for? As parents, we don't prepare for CPS coming out our door. We don't prepare the knowledge of our rights, of our constitutionally protected rights and our Bill of Rights, and we don't pass those on down to our children. Why? Because it won't happen to you? You don't think CPS is going to come and knock on your door? It could very well happen to you. All you got to do is just piss off your next door neighbor, or send your little child to school with a scraped knee. That's all it takes. That's literally all it takes in order for these CPS agencies and these court systems who are trafficking children to get their hands on your child. You guys, knowledge is power. Get some. We'll see you next time.